sat there, waiting for something to happen. I had no idea what was coming out of my life, and I was kind of scared to find out. I was in a tight squeeze. I couldn't really get out of what I was in. So I tried, but ran into a trash can a couple times, trash bag, took a tight turn, ran into a wall. I kept going, oh, and I ran over it. Anyway, so my life has been pretty fucking bad. There's not really much to go around in my life. So I made the most out of it. I was told about 6 months ago that I had 6 months to live. This is my last day. So I'm not sure what's going to come out of today, but I'm going to try my best to make everything as the best it can be. My name is Tyler Torque, and this is my story. I pulled up at an intersection on Ellery Street, and this fucking whore rear-ended me. And then he decided to fight me. I fought him as best I could. I made his mouth bleed, made everything bleed. Bastard had nothing, didn't know what was going to hit him. The cops came and started shooting at us, and they tried to arrest me. I stormed back in my car, and one of the cops hung on for a while, and it just seemed that that was the start of the most exciting day of my life. I tried my best to find out what was going on. I just fought a guy who rear-ended me, and then I ran into a pole. Trying not to flip out, trying not to think, just going along with everything. I just tried my best just to get my mind off of what just happened. The cops seemed to not even care. So I saw a moped and I decided to walk towards it for some odd reason. And I didn't really like it. It was a Faggio, so it just came off funny. I slid my helmet on, I started driving, left my perfectly good Chrysler on the side of the road, and started to drive. The bitches were driving mad slow. I couldn't really do anything about it because they're slow in the head as well. And there's one even slower guy ran into me on the way there to my destination, and I decided to run up to him and pop some caps in his ass. So then I just drove away. I saw an ice cream truck and I was like, ice cream. I like ice cream. So I decided to pop some caps in that ass too. And then I ran into a car. That's when I realized that today was my last day. And my head started to throb. I took my helmet off and I threw it on the ground. I walked away. Some dude's door was open, so I decided to take the car that wasn't open and smash his door. Hijacked the car and I got back out. I fell into a moped. I got on it. It was another Faggio. This is when the story gets fun. I laugh every time I hear it. I drove into a gas station thinking I could fill up my tank. I got off, pulled out my machine gun, and started shooting at the gas. From a very far distance, that is. I knew that if I shot at it from right next to it, I would die immediately. But since explosions are my thing, I decided to make everything explode. I looked at the logo to where the gas station was at, and wondered why it looked like a drip of cum. And that's when I went on a searing rampage of thought. And I was like, why? Why did this happen to me? And I ran into a cop that was right around the corner. Oh well, if I remember correctly, drove right past him. I ran into this guy on a moped, and he didn't seem too happy. I think he was dead. Then I ran into a cop. My memory's kind of shot, because the whole time I was bumping my head trying to figure out why that logo on that gas station was a drip of cum. I went on like I said, I was on a searing rampage trying to find out, and was on my phone looking at everything, trying to find out why. I was on the internet and everything, calling everybody up, calling everybody I knew. And that's when it hit me that drip of cum wasn't cum. It was a drip of gas. I stopped in my tracks. I flung around. When I hit some solid rock thing, this guy told me to go fuck myself, so I shot him. Well, before I shot him, I jumped in the air. But I saw this whore try to shoot him in the head. That was pretty fun. So I got back in my car, and then I saw this one car try to bump into me, and I was like, you fucking whore. So I decided to steal a car and kick it. This is when it gets real funny. Believe me. I start teabagging the dead whore on the floor, and I see a breakfast diner that's open right behind me. But what was weird is that it wasn't open at all. It was a flat wall, and the door wasn't open. So I decided to kick the door and jump on some metal rack thing and kick the door. It shattered, and that's when I realized the whole world around me was fake. See, it just so happens that the car that I had was fake. The mopeds I've been driving were fake. That wall wasn't real. So that's when I pulled a Columbine on everybody and decided to shoot up the whole entire state of New York, starting with Liberty City. Knowing that was my last day, going to jail wouldn't be too much for me. People were scattered. People started running. I started driving my moped that I stole, which wasn't really dangerous looking anyway. Then a random GT came out of nowhere. Of course, it's funny. And I ran into it, and I ran back to it, and I stole it, and it just so happens that this GT was a lot faster than I thought it was, and what I thought was going to be slower, I ran into a car, and it was a horror, and then I felt so bad because I didn't want to run into anything with my new Super GT that is flowing out nowhere, so I decided to bury the dead horror. But the thing is, I didn't have a shovel, so I just teabagged her. So I walked away from teabagging, hoping I could get my mind off everything that was happening. My steering rampage has been going on for 8 minutes now, so I decided to just take a calm drive. Slowly going crazy. I couldn't even get in the car. I couldn't even drive the car, let alone get in it. But I decided to anyway. I decided to take a calm drive, or well, at least what I thought was calm. I pulled out my M16 and started just shooting everybody. Got out of my car, pulled out my machine gun, or well, my AK-47 exactly, and I started shooting everything in sight. Everybody, everything, every person, every living matter that was moving, I started to shoot. I then came upon a revelation that I'm going to die within the next 5 minutes. I didn't have much time. With little time to spare, I decided to make the most out of what I had in the current time. This is the story of how I died. Cheers.